Hello everyone, JRod here. Welcome to the long version of the Ninjago City Gardens review. For the short one, check up there. This version was recorded step by step as I was building the set. The thoughts are more raw, but I don't skip any detail. Let's go! This is how it looks after building 5 of the 26 steps. There are already some interesting things that I want to highlight. We can see that the theme of a city built on top of water is maintained, as the other two Ninjago City sets. I really like these 3 small rocky islands with a lot of green and here some small posts. We can see here the stash of someone in Ninjago City. It has knives, a small statue, gold, silver, and a box, where we used the first and only sticker so far, but this set has a bunch of them. On this side we have some piping, and well, it's incredible that LEGO does some really cool things, but then they stay hidden. Like you have piping inside that you can never see after building it. And you have, very cool on this side, water coming out. The main build so far has been the tree. It has a really cool bench here. It's built separately, the bench and the back of the bench, and is attached here to the tree. I also really like this small nest with the bird. And we have this post that will probably help sustain the higher levels of the city. What I want to highlight here is that LEGO didn't save on the parts to make sure that it had some interesting colors and give some life to it. And finally, I want to highlight this table because it looks really good, but it's very simple to build, although it doesn't use very common parts. We have now done 9 steps out of the 26, and we have completed the ground level of the construction. In these 4 steps, we worked mainly on these 2 buildings that each one has 2 floors. We can see that the buildings have the same traditional oriental style than the other Ninjago City sets, but it seems that they went a step ahead in terms of the regularity of the buildings' shapes and on how beautiful these walls look from the outside. As I already confessed in my short review, I don't know anything about the Ninjago storyline or any of the characters. My comments will be made based only on my observations of the set, so take them with a grain of salt, or better yet, with a whole pack of it. The building on the left is in dark brown wood, mixed with sand green on the ground floor and white on the first floor. It has a counter to the street side, and inside the store has books, a scale, and other trinkets, but is completely open to the water side and has a handle that serves both to tie up a boat and to open the trapdoor that gives access to the stash I already showed you. My bet is that this building belongs to a trader, but not from the legal kind. And the characters that come with it are Ronin and Kaito, which seem to corroborate my suspicion. On the first floor, there's the most beautiful balcony to drink tea, with a great use of stickers to create atmosphere, and an amazing round window that actually opens. The building on the right is in regular brown wood, mixed with white on the ground floor and with tan on the first floor. On the ground floor, the character named May seems to be running a small restaurant that sells food at the counter. People can then eat in that isolated table with the soy sauce. It also has a really cute balcony facing the water. On the first floor, there's Christina's bedroom. It has a lot of nice details and interesting micro builds. She seems to be a Ninjago fan, but maybe there's more to it, as she has a ninja weapon hidden inside her bed. In terms of interesting building techniques, I need to highlight the horizontal building mixed with hinges that is used to create the angles in the buildings. To make this weird angle, we have a rectangular vertical construction. Then we have this wall that was built like this, so it's horizontal, and you see that has one side different than the other. And then what we do is we have these directional changes here, and we will apply and here. So you can see here the places for the hinges that will match the hinges here. So you first apply it on one side, and then you apply it on the other, and you get this angled construction, as you can see. And also using horizontal building, the window in the first floor of the building on the right with its curtains is also very interesting. As usual, in the Ninjago City builds, all the sheds are done with different techniques, and they all look very good. And also, the amount of detail, as usual, is huge. One final note for the most innovative part usage so far. The counter of the restaurant is done using a book cover. Really interesting. I have done 12 steps out of the 26 and completed the first level of the Ninjago City Gardens, where we have an ice cream shop and a sushi restaurant. The shape of both shops is achieved by using hinges and then connectors to keep them in place. In the ice cream shop, I want to highlight the sign in white and gold and the shed built with kitchen knives. Of course, the beautiful window that gives you a great view to the interior of the shop, where you have two counters and a great detail on the ice creams being sold. In the back of the store, you have another great shed, this time built with gaming console controllers. And the most lovely detail, an ice cream fallen into the ground. In the sushi restaurant, this entrance is nothing less than amazing, with the minifigure used for the sign, on top of the shed that is built with connectors linked with sausage pieces, and the two columns with blue, gold and red, and the final detail of the vent pipe. In the back, you have a small window with flowers and a very interesting shutter, and of course the big windows that allows you to see the sushi chef working in the interior of the restaurant, which is also very rich in detail, especially in the table for the customers and in the sign with the menu on top of the counter. Supporting the stores, we have the passageway with the guardrails with publicity signs, as usual in Ninjago City builds. And these two very interesting builds. Let me know in the comments if they have any meaning in the Ninjago storyline. With 16 steps done out of the 26, I have completed the second level of the Ninjago City Gardens. The building is growing and it's becoming magnificent with all its color and different shapes. In this level, we have the museum and a painter studio / bedroom. The museum is in bright light orange. It has an entrance where you buy the tickets or can buy souvenirs. The exhibit has paintings and artifacts with several focus lamps to highlight some items. Again, if any of these has special relevance in the Ninjago storyline, do let me know in the comments. This museum, however, is at risk of suffering a robbery, as there's a hole in the wall covered on both sides, on the interior by a painting and in the outside by a poster. In terms of building techniques, the postcard stand in the entrance is a simple but very effective build. The rotating gate to access the exhibit using the flower stem was a good idea, and it actually rotates, but it needed an angle to work in a realistic way. But the best is this big wall in diagonal that faces the front corner of the Ninjago City Gardens. The way the finishing was done on the sides and the use of the modified plates with door rail created a perfect fit to slide in the wall, making it very stable in spite being stuck to only 5 studs. And built into the wall, there is a great display of a rare artifact. It uses a chest bottom with a glass window attached instead of the lid, where a small built-in rod was put, to which the artifact is stuck by a clip, to simulate the cloth used to highlight golden pieces. The final look is really good. The painter studio is in shades of green. It has a single bed, a small TV, an umbrella stand, and of course the easel with a painting of the Ninjago City Gardens. The studio has 2 doors, but one of them leads to the void, although there are 2 bricks with hole on both sides of the door that would allow something to be attached here. In terms of building techniques, I really like the idea of the umbrella stand, and the TV design fits this space very well. But the highlight are the extremities of the studio, an horizontal build that looks really good, especially the window and the flower pot. The passageway on this level is on the opposite side than on the first level, so it doesn't have the commercial signs and instead has these cute flower pots hanging in the guardrail. There's also a telescope near the painter's studio, but it's not clear what's its use and it seems a bit out of place in this scenario. On the front side, there's this epic sign of the dragon grill. Yes, I had to use the Ninjago alphabet picture in the instruction book to translate that. And finally, this red rail build that I assume will still have some usage further ahead in the construction. At this stage, I've completed step 18 out of the 26. This is the final level of the building, and although it's still missing a lot of things, like for instance the tower on the right side, I already have the 2 main locations on this level. On the left side, I have what seems to be a temple or just a quiet place to meditate. The building is in brown wood with lavender, with just a table with a plant as furniture. It has a safe in the ground with a precious stone inside, and hidden on top of the ceiling beam there's a helmet and rollerblades. In terms of techniques used, the entrance in grey and green is an horizontal build that looks really good. The safe is another nice build, using a box and horizontal building to create the wall safe style. As usual, the roof uses yet another interesting technique, with chest lids clipped to a bar and support points at different heights to give it a wavy look. On the right side, and still missing the tower on top of it, we have a video game room that seems connected to this minifig called Cole that has a game controller in his hands. The walls are dark grey with touches of dark turquoise. It has a TV cabinet with a TV and a gaming console, a rotating armchair, a coat hanger, and an arcade machine. Outside, there's another telescope and a giant koi fish hanging on the wall. Why is it there? I have no idea. On the opposite side, there's a publicity area with interchangeable posters, and a ladder that can be lowered and retracted by rotating a gear. A lot of interesting techniques in this area. The coat hanger looks very good with usage of the flower stem, and the armchair is also very interesting. But inside, the highlight is the arcade machine. It uses a set of techniques and not only looks awesome, but also kinda works, thanks to the flexibility provided by a rubber part. Outside, the koi fish looks amazing, although in terms of techniques is not very innovative. It's mostly clipping. I also really like the system to lower and retract the ladder, especially because it's so simple yet very effective. 22 steps done out of the 26, and I have finished the main building. These steps were all about finishings and tying loose ends. First and foremost, I built the full tower. Then I added the museum dome, completed the tree, added a small flying vehicle, and added 2 balconies, one on the first level passageway and another in the painter's studio. Remember that door that led into the void? Not anymore. The tower looks amazing and uses interesting techniques to achieve this very distinct design. On the interior, there's a secret control room, probably managing the antenna and satellite dishes above. Weird thing, it doesn't seem to have a way to get in except removing the top of the tower. The techniques used to build it rely on these cool parts in dark turquoise, on these transparent dark pink parts as the one used for the dragon grill sign, and on a 45-degree rotation of the upper part of the tower, achieved using a 4x4 locking turntable and a 4x4 round brick. The museum dome is also very interesting and adds to the exhibition the skeleton of a weird-looking creature hanging from it. It relies on horizontal building to achieve this round shape and uses several 1x1 plate with tooth parts to close the gaps in the transitions. On top of the dome, there's a Japanese cherry blossom tree that finishes the rooftop in a lovely and appropriate way for a city garden. The top of the main tree adds a nice touch, filling in the rather empty middle section in the first level, and gives the idea of a city built of patches that, instead of bulldozing what existed and creating from scratch, was simply built around the nature that was already there. This small vehicle that looks like a scooter with wings, it's a nice detail. Its owner seems to be the character called Cici. And finally, the two balconies that give a nice finishing touch. The one in the first level passageway is closing an open side and adds a trash can and some more publicity signs. The one on the painter studio has a lovely design and some potted plants. But these balconies are out of the borders of the 32x32 base plate. So, depending on what is attached on this side of the building, they can become a problem. I believe that's why they are easily attached and removed using the Technic pins, instead of being included during the build in a more traditional way. The final steps, 23 to 26, were building the side garden in a 16x32 base plate that is attached to the left side of the main building. Adding the garden on this side puts it under the balconies and avoids any impact when you attach other Ninjago City sets to this one. Being an island in the body of water where Ninjago City stands, you need to cross one of the 4 bridges to access the garden. It contains a statue and some kind of oriental temple-like construction. In terms of techniques, it's mostly layer stacking to give a natural height feeling to the island, with the exception of the temple, where some clipping is used to create angles and the general Japanese look and feel. It also has some nice rock pavements and flowers, my favorite being the water lilies. The set includes 18 minifigures, 1 husky, 1 robot and 1 ninja suit with a transparent head. This is Urban J. He has a really nice torso with the open jacket, and his hair can be either "I just got up and had no time to comb it" or "I just spent 3 hours in the mirror making this work of art." He brings a flower and his shy smile seems to give away that he is giving it to someone. He has a double printed face and the other face seems annoyed, so maybe that didn't go as he expected. This is Urban Mia. I like the jacket on her torso, but I don't like the color of her skin above the shirt. It's too different from the yellow of the face and hands. The best part is her hair, with a ponytail and the detail of the hairband in silver. I don't remember seeing the use of different colors in a hairpiece before. She also has a double printed face, happy and a bit surprised on this side, and very annoyed on the other. Maybe she's the one Jay is offering the flower to. Plenty of possibilities for a story here. This is Clutch Powers. His clothes look like an Indiana Jones that lost his hat. He has a nice handbag and a double printed face. I like the sideburns and the eye patch. Gives him a rough look on this side, but on the other side you see that maybe he's not that rough after all. This is Misako. I really like her grey hair with the nice braid. She also has a double printed face. On this side she has a neutral but friendly face. On the other, she has a neutral but friendly face. Okay. Oh, the eyebrows change slightly. Yeah. But with the hairpiece on, actually you don't see it. This is Ronin. He is obviously a shady character. I like the fact that his legs are also printed. This outfit would only work like that. He has a nice auburn hair, and the handkerchief covering his face is hiding a pretty evil smile. This is Urban Cole. I like the sleeveless shirt of a rock band tour and the printed legs. He is holding a gaming console controller and he has a double printed face. Either everything is cool or he is getting hangry. This is Tito. He is clearly a retro kid, judging by his shirt and the fact that he is holding a VHS tape on his hand. He has a husky dog with him. This is Kai. I like his red ninja suit and the sword holder. It looks really cool. He has a double printed face, either angry or slightly embarrassed. Maybe he cut the wrong thing with his sword. I like the band-aid on both faces, but I think that if the eyebrow changed the place, probably the band-aid should have followed. This is Zane. Really great prints on the torso and legs in this white ninja suit. And his silver head is awesome. It's printed on both sides, but in this case, the two prints work together. It's not an alternative face, as he seems to be an advanced robot and a pretty angry robot too. This is an empty ninja suit. It has a transparent green head just to fit the ninja helmet piece. I don't know to whom this suit belongs to. I was expecting it to be hidden somewhere in the city gardens, but the instructions never mention it being placed anywhere. This is young Lloyd. Lloyd seems to be the green ninja and one of the main characters, and this is the child version of him. I really like the emerald green eyes and the funny hair. He has a double printed face. He is smirking on this side and very fearful on the other side. This is Scoop, the robot cleaner. It was an interesting small build. I like the hard hat. I hadn't got one since my old childhood days building city sets. This is the mechanic. I love the steampunk look in the whole figure, though the legs could have a more detailed print. The hat is by far my favorite part, and the tool or weapon he is carrying is completely insane. Maybe he was the one opening the hole in the museum wall. And probably he was working with Cece. She seems to be running away with a diamond that was probably stolen from the museum. I like her hair plus cap piece, and she has a double printed face, masked on one side and without mask on the other. This is Eileen. She seems to be the painter living in the studio next to the museum. She seems quite bland compared to the other minifigs. I do like her hair with a small braid, but I have no idea why she is holding a pretzel. This is Hai. He works at the ice cream shop. I like his uniform with a torso with the shop symbol. This is Kaito. He is clearly a businessman with a mobile phone and briefcase. I like his torso with the tie and suspenders, and the hair with a small ponytail. He has a double printed face and can alternate his regular face with an angry one. This is May. She is the owner of the street restaurant, but this outfit could also be used for martial arts. The belt is in the wrong place, but I don't believe LEGO could print it in the right place because it would include the legs junction. I really like her lavender color hair. She has a double printed face, this one smiling and the other fearful. This is Christina. She lives in the bedroom over the street restaurant. She is clearly a great fan of Lloyd, the Green Ninja. She has a double printed face. In this one, she is slightly smirking. In the other side, she is winking. And finally, the Wu Legacy minifig that comes in this small stand and with a plaque of the 10th anniversary of the Ninjago team. The minifig is all golden, and I believe it represents a character that was called Master Wu. At least I have a recollection of that name. Now that you know all the details about the Ninjago City Gardens, if you like these long step-by-step reviews, I've done one of the police station modular that is perfect for you. See you all very soon.